So this is it. I saved up those 200,000 points over all those years, and I'm gonna redeem it for this big trip just like I said I would. And so I did it, and then it wasn't even a day later that I realized what it is I had just done. You see, I had started earning Citi Thank You Points back when I was fresh out of college. I was making a living as an ER nurse in deep East Texas, which was a consequence of a nursing school scholarship that I had. And so at that time, I was getting into really learning about personal finance, and I knew that not taking advantage of credit card rewards was leaving money on the table. So after a lot of research back in that day, I had decided and settled on the Citi Double Cash card, simply because you earn 2% back, and that was a high rate back then, and something I didn't have to think about. My plan was I would just use that card for my lifetime and use those credit card rewards as a separate bank account, kind of like a bucket list savings account, and I would cash that in on some huge trip later down the road whenever I met maybe my future spouse or significant other. So yeah, I've kind of always been a lovesick dork. And now bear with me, the points lesson's coming soon, I promise. And so I waited, and I waited for 5 years until I finally met her. And getting to know each other, I was talking to my then girlfriend and my soon-to-be wife now, and she was telling me about the places she wanted to go, and at the top of her list was she wanted to go see the Northern Lights in Alaska. And I said, let's go, I've been waiting on you. And so being the type A person that I am, I began researching pretty quick, and I immediately realized that this is going to be an expensive trip. You see, to see the Northern Lights in Alaska, you have to go in the wintertime, January, in order to see the lights, because in the summer, they don't really have nighttime to see the lights in. And so that means we had to go through a tour company, because being native Texans, we can't last 8 hours in an Alaskan winter, let alone 8 days. And so those prices started adding up so quick, you wouldn't believe. Starting at $4,000 was just for the tour, not including flights, and that doesn't include all the other stuff that we wanted to do, and it was turning into a whole thing. And so that's where the points come into play. See, year after year of waiting, I've been swiping, not the Tinder app, but the credit card. And so I amassed $2,000 in cash back, which would be 200,000 Citi Thank You Points. And now this will make a big dent within our Alaska trip fund. And so this is it. I saved up those 200,000 points over all those years, and I'm gonna redeem it for this big trip just like I said I would. And so I did it, and then it wasn't even a day later that I realized what it is I had just done. I had just cashed out 200,000 Citi Points for $2,000 for just 1 cent per point. Now, if I could go back knowing what I know now, here's what I would recommend instead. I would have gotten the Citi Premier card, which is the premium card offered by Citi, and that will get me access to all of Citi's transfer partners. And I would have gone to Maddie and be like, hey babe, we can go anywhere in the world we want with all these points. And you know what else is on the bucket list? Japan, Africa, all these different places. And so Japan, great. With those 200,000 Citi Points, I would have been able to take 180,000 of those, transfer them over to Virgin Atlantic, and I would have been able to book round trip tickets in business class to Tokyo, Japan. And that would leave me with 20,000 points. And guess what? Citi transfers over to Choice Hotels at a 2-to-1 ratio. So that would turn my 20,000 points over to 40,000 Choice Hotel points. And guess what? Here is a hotel room for 8,000 points per night. And so with a little help or with just more knowledge sooner, I could have turned that $2,000 into $16,000 or more, because one way with both of us in business class is already $8,000 of value there. So the lesson here is twofold. You can learn how to maximize your points by learning how to leverage transfer partners. And the two is, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because you might just end up with a memory you'll never forget. Because I may have wasted my points, but I did not waste that experience. Believe me, I was able to play and ride on future champion sled dogs. I got to experience what it's like to have frozen eyelashes hanging off my face, and I was, yes, of course, able to see the Northern Lights, bucket list item checked. And that trip was truly the experience of a lifetime. And that's the thing about travel. So if you want to learn more about this philosophy that I have, go ahead, check out this video that'll be posted up real soon. Otherwise, you can learn how to make that Japan redemption in business class in this video here. My name is Michael with Nurse Michael Travels. Don't forget to subscribe as well. I'll see you in the next one.